The Nintendo GameCube is an insanely popular system nowadays, but it was retroactively popular because back in the day, a lot of people saw it as the kiddie lunchbox inspired system that a lot of people couldn't seriously play hit games on, like GTA, Call of. Well, there are some Call of Duty games on the GameCube, but it was seen as the kiddie console. Is basically what I'm trying to portray, right, or trying to convey, and overall, I think it's very interesting because the GameCube has such an amazing library to me. Arguably the second best library in Nintendo history. Well, third now. So before I used to say it was the Wii U and then the GameCube, but now I believe it's a Switch, the Wii U and then the GameCube. But the GameCube is a phenomenal system in terms of doing what systems are meant to do, which is play video games. So without further ado, here is my Nintendo GameCube collection. Starting it off, we got a heavy hitter, a banger, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I'm so used to saying Wind Waker HD after that, but no, this is just the regular Wind Waker system. I like Wind Waker a lot. It is a game that I did not get around to nearly completing until this year. I've gotten pretty far over and over again, but never had actually gotten close to beating it. And I do need to get back to it, but life and just things in general have kind of taken me off the beaten path when it comes to that. But Wind Waker is such a good Zelda game. I hesitate to say it's the greatest Zelda game, like some people believe it is, but I will still say this is really good. It has been maintained, or not maintained, but it's really key in establishing Zelda's uh, amazing, awesome trajectory of solid 3D adventure games. And it's crazy that people think that people didn't like this game when it first came out. That shit it's insane to me. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Master's Quest. Now, the fact you can play Ocarina of Time on the N64, the GameCube, the Wii technically through backwards compatibility and also through the shop. The Wii U also through the shop and through backwards compatibility. Oh wait, no, just through the shop. And the Switch eventually, once the remake comes out, because I think that remake might be a Switch One remake as well. I don't see why a Ocarina of Time remake couldn't run on the Switch One, but either way, Ocarina of Time has stood the test of time, no pun intended, over and over again. I think I want to leave a little more talking about OOT when I do my N64 collection. But as of right now, I think it's really nice that this collection exists on the GameCube, and it's really hard to find. The Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. A whole lot of Zelda in here because I would say I'm kind of a Zelda guy. So we've got Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. The fact that you can play Ocarina of Time through these two different avenues is very interesting to me, mostly because I don't think the collector's edition is as hard to find as the Master's Quest edition of Ocarina of Time. It is still as expensive, or nearly as expensive. And I think the fact that Nintendo is kind of almost dedicated to making sure that, hey, if you want to play Zelda on here, you can play Zelda. And there's also Twilight Princess as well, but spoiler for the video, I don't have Twilight Princess for the GameCube. That joint is kind of a little above my grade. I'm combining these two. I've got Beautiful Joe and Beautiful Joe 2. Now, I have not played Beautiful Joe. I want to, and it looks really interesting. I've watched gameplay, a good solid chunk of the play non-commentary playthroughs of the game, but I want to play it and experience it for myself. And it's funny because I don't think that many people know that Beautiful Joe is like a thing. So I remember talking to some people that are in the space, the retro gaming space specifically, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, I've never heard of that game." And I still run into games that I've never heard of all the time. But it's just crazy to me how people haven't heard of Beautiful Joe, because I feel like this is kind of one of the premier GameCube games. And I don't know if this also came out on the original Xbox or not. I feel like I'm blanking on if it did. But this was, I don't know. I think about Beautiful Joe. It's probably like in the top 10, 15-ish games I think of when I think about the GameCube. So Time Splitters 2. Now, I remember back when the craze for retro gaming was going absolutely bonkers. You could not escape Time Splitters 2, or just people talking about Time Splitters 2 and how kind of underrated it is. I remember, I don't know if it's on Time Splitters 1 or on Time Splitters 2's box art. Yeah, heir apparent to Goldeneye, but there's one box art where it's like, first Halo, now this. Like, people were excited and ecstatic about Time Splitters 2. And I wouldn't know because I was born literally the year the GameCube came out. But I still believe that this might be worth the hype. I don't know. maybe could, maybe couldn't. But I didn't play it first to find out. And I have Time Splitters 1, I have Time Splitters 2. People don't talk about Time Splitters 1 at all, which is very interesting to me. But I think Time Splitters 2 uh, might be a bang of a time because I enjoyed GoldenEye, I enjoyed Perfect Dark, I enjoyed Halo. So if it's in that realm, I think we are good to go. Here's so I got Metroid Prime, and I'll talk about Metroid Prime 2 as well, even though the bonus disc in here is not, the second disc in here is not Metroid Prime 2. Metroid Prime, I've not played a Metroid Prime game. I know. Well, actually, that's a lie because I've played Metroid Prime Hunters First Hunt for the DS, and that was kind of that almost kind of tech demo for the DS, honestly, in terms of how well it can handle shooters on there. But I have played that, but I really want to get to the Metro Prime series. It's kind of one game that's really on my short list of like, oh my gosh, I'm not a gamer unless I've tried Metroid Prime, right? And so that's I just one of these days, man. And before I talk about this a little more, Super Smash Brothers Melee is in here as well. So that is the copy of Melee that I have. I used to have the box of Melee, but I gave it to a friend because I was like, oh, like, I don't have the game yet. So let me just give him the box because he has the game while I have the box. So let me just give him the box so he can have a CIB set of Melee. And then I got the game like right after, like for free. And I was like, oh my gosh, this sucks. Super Monkey Ball. Oh my gosh. The way people talk about Super Monkey Ball, you would think that Christ came down himself and was like, this little monkey's all right, and then went back up. Like, it's just, people talk about Super Monkey Ball all the time as if like it's this banger, this cult classic. I say cult classic as if Monkey Ball is not popular. But still, though, I have never really been interested in trying out Monkey Ball because I've tried out Monkey Ball at like different arcade settings, like Chuck E. Cheese's and like, just waiting around all those different places that like have arcade machines. But I think maybe trying out Monkey Ball would be kind of cool. There's just one moment I remember from the Co-op 64 podcast. And shout out those guys as well. If you haven't seen the Co-op 64 podcast, please check it out. Easily the best gaming podcast I listen to. I would say that one of the funniest moments from there is when they're like, all right, speak when you see a game better than this. I forget what the game is, but like it's like it's like one of those critically acclaimed games. And like Brady, one of the occasional hosts, is just like, nah, Super Monkey Ball's better than this game. And I was like, that's so crazy. But that makes me really want to look at this specifically and see what the fuss is about. Super Mario Sunshine. Now, I think a lot of Mario games are kind of overrated. Super Mario Sunshine is one of them. I don't like Super Mario Sunshine that much. I want to give Super Mario Sunshine a little more of a fighting chance because Super Mario 64, I gave that a fighting chance. I gave that a billion different chances, and I was like, nope, I just think I'm missing something. I just don't think I like this. Super Mario Sunshine is one of those where I'm like, okay, like I can see how playing a game for like an hour and a half to 2 hours may not have been letting it cook a little, but like I don't know, like stuff like Flood wasn't really like hitting with me, and like I feel like you have to like platformer mechanics have to really make your brain tingle for you to really rock with some 3D Mario games. And that's just never really been how I operate. So, Super Mario Strikers. Now, I've talked a little bit about Strikers in my Wii video, but this was kind of the game that really got me going. Hold on, I thought this was the Happy-Go-Lucky Plumber, but this is pretty much the closest Mario's ever gotten to looking cool to me. And I think that maybe one day I'll try out these games and go, they might have been cooking. Star Wars Jedi Outcast. I'm not a Star Wars person. I think I got this game for free, so that's kind of why it's in the collection. I think one day I might actually like do like a gauntlet of the Star Wars games I have, at least like try them out for that hour, 2 hour period, and then go like, yep, we don't like these. We don't like these at all. So, or me like these, or me like these at all. I've had friends that told me you would like Knights of the Old Republic, and maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't, but we'll see when we cross that bridge. SpongeBob SquarePants, lights, camera, pants. Now, this game used to interest me a lot because I used to love SpongeBob games growing up, specifically the SpongeBob movie PC game. I played a couple games on PC when I was younger, and I was like, oh my gosh, this game is hitting, and just also like how 3D SpongeBob games are stylized. I used to want Battle for Bikini Bottom a ton, which is crazy because I don't have an official version of that game. I've only played the game through like PS Plus or one of those subscription models. But Lights Camera Pants is also one of those games where I was like, I wanted this game on PC so bad, and now I have this game on GameCube. But I just realized that it's basically just Mario Party with SpongeBob. So that kind of killed all the hype I had for like actually getting into it. But hopefully one day people feel like playing SpongeBob SquarePants, Lights Camera Pants with me. Still waiting. Spider-Man 2, oh boy. Now, I played Spider-Man 2 on the PS2. Tell me how you do. I like playing Xbox and the PS2. Um, Spider-Man 2 for the GameCube is not a version I played, but I love Spider-Man 2. This specific game is Spider-Man 2, and it has really, I don't know. I don't really think about it that much because Marvel Spider-Man, like Insomniac Spider-Man, has just surpassed Spider-Man 2, the original Spider-Man 2, for me as like the best Spider-Man game. So I don't even think about it anymore. But one of my favorite things to do in that game, and I don't know if it's like one of those things where it's like, what's going on here? Or it's just like I used to just like jumping off buildings and just like because I'd never really seen death animations before, so I was like, oh wow, this is kind of crazy. Like fall physics are an actual thing in a video game. That's kind of wild. But yeah, Spider-Man 2 is pretty good. That's basically the round answer for all that. Soul Calibur 2. Oh my goodness. Talk about one of the greatest fighting games of all time. The GameCube version is the most popular version of this game, methinks, because Link is in it. And just the fact of having Link be in a third party fighting game is crazy to me. Even though this is only the GameCube version, of course. And I like how Nintendo was a little more open to like doing stuff like that. If like a game was like multi-plat, but it was releasing on their platform, like SSX on Tour, I think like has Mario, Peach, and Luigi in it, and I'm like, oh wow, that's actually really cool. But Soul Calibur 2, the reason I got interested at first was because Link is in it, and I was like, well, if Link's in it, then I kind of want to play it. And then I was like, oh wait a minute, I got a really great fighting game as well. So I got into like the rest of the Soul Calibur series, and by the rest of the Soul Calibur series, I meant Soul Calibur 1. So, but yeah, it's crazy. I think I don't know if it's a Mortal Kombat because every single time I think about Soul Calibur, I'm like, I'm pretty sure Kratos was in one of these games, but I think it was like one of the Mortal Kombats where like, okay, no, we're putting Kratos in because Soul Calibur 2 for the PS2 has Hai Chan in it, I think, from Tekken. And then the other one has like Spawn in it for Xbox, which is crazy to think about. But like, I think it's on brand because Xbox, especially around that time, didn't really have anything that wasn't Halo. So they're like, okay, like let's just put Spawn in here or whatever. And like, it's just very, it's kind of almost Microsoft / American coded. But yeah, Sonic Riders. Now, I actually played the original. This not the original. Zero Gravity. So the sequel to Sonic Riders when I was younger. So I had to actually experience Sonic Riders officially after I got into retro gaming. So Sonic Riders 1, I think, doesn't have as much sauce as Zero Gravity. I like Zero Gravity a lot more, but I think Sonic Riders 1 still has a lot of sauce, actually. And it may not be the greatest game. It's actually a pretty difficult game to get a hold of, but I still believe that Sonic Riders as a concept was awesome. And I low-key kind of want to see something very similar to it. I think it could have been a really good alternative for the kart racing formula. I know Crossworlds has kind of done a thing where it's like, all right, like these two things are now side by side again. But I think if they took the time to nurture Sonic Riders and didn't let the Connect kill it, then maybe Sonic Riders could have been this like not rival to Mario Kart because nothing's really going to rival Mario Kart, but like who knows? Maybe actually. So it could have been something akin to that. Sonic Mega Collection. Oh my goodness! So another game that I owned on the PS2, but I own also on the GameCube as well. This is how I experienced the original Sonic games firsthand, right? So I did not play Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3 until I got this collection, right? And Sonic 3 was always the game that like kind of I don't know why. It just made my 8-year-old, 9-year-old brain like light up. I was like, ooh, come on, this kind of hitting. So I guess the beauties of them finally pushing the Genesis to its limit, or really learning how to make games on the Genesis. But Mega Collection is a phenomenal collection of video games. It has all the extra stuff you'd want in addition to the games you're actually getting. Really good, solid ports of these games or ROMs of these games are running on here. Uh, it's good, man. So if you want to experience the old Sonic games and you don't want to really buy a Genesis, because again, I don't blame you. this is not a bad way to do it. Look for a collection on any of the systems you own, honestly, and you will be golden. Even the Sonic games on the Play Store / the App Store, before they take them down, are also good ways to experience the original Sonic games for sure. Sonic Heroes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm about to say something controversial. This game sucks. Whoa, hold on. Not sucks. I think this game is very overrated because people will look at you and go like, I mean, yeah, sure, like the level design isn't really that great, and the physics aren't really amazing either, and a lot of things don't really gel well or mesh well together, and like there's honestly handling too many parts. But at the same time, though, dude, it's got aura, man, and I played it as a child, so clearly it has to be good, man. I don't care if you like this game because again, I still like this game. Like I still like this game in the sense of like I like playing through Seaside Hill too, buddy. Every single well, I think it's only might be only Team Sonic and Team Dark that are on Seaside Hill. I think everybody else is on somewhere different at first. But I still like playing through the intro levels of these games. I just don't like playing the entire game. And I'm like, wow, this game is not good because of this. The reasons I mentioned earlier. So I don't think this is a good game. I think you can like games that are not good, or you may not think they're as good as people say they are. You know what I mean? Like it's like I think sometimes I can kind of get a little bit into the space of like, oh, I mean, if you're having fun, then it's good. Like, and if you have fun with Sonic Heroes, then I guess it's good to you. But I think it's also a thing where I like this game because of the things that aren't really integral to what makes a game good. So I can't really say a game is good. Like as opposed to something like Pokemon where I'm like I'm catching and battling, which is like the integral part of the game. So the game is good. Hey, go in the comments and if you agree with me or if you disagree with me, just let me know. Just let me know what the vibe is. But yeah, Sonic Gems Collection. Oh boy, so hold on to Sonic on here, and we're not done yet. So Sonic CD, Sonic the Fighters, and Sonic R. Sonic CD. I didn't think people didn't like Sonic CD until I grew up and got exposed to the internet, and I was like, we hate Sonic CD. What the this game's amazing. But apparently people are not rocking with Sonic CD, which to be fair, valid, I guess, in some instances. But I think Sonic CD is cool. It's a cool concept. I haven't played Sonic the Fighters. I haven't played Sonic R. I don't really have the uh, interest in doing either of those. But this collection also was one that I really liked a lot. Is there anything else in here? There's 6 bonus games. Sonic 2. Wow, calling Sonic 2 a bonus game is kind of crazy. Sonic Spinball, Sonic Triple Trouble, Sonic Drift 2, Tails Sky Patrol, and Tails Adventures. Okay, that makes sense. So there's like 5 bonus games in here. So this is 4 must-have hits and 5 bonus games. That I'm gonna fix that for them. But yeah, this is not a bad collection at all. Next up, I've got Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh boy. So if you hit him with the blick, then you are well on your way to enjoying Shadow the Hedgehog. What a fever dream, man! So I beat the game for the first time last year. Last year, yes, I beat the game for the first time last year, and I was like, wow, this is something else. Because I'd played this game, I believe, or I'd watched playthroughs of this game like a while ago, and I used to digest so much Sonic content when I was younger on YouTube. And Shadow the Hedgehog has been one of those games where I've heard so much about how, oh man, this is cringy and this is bad and blah blah blah. And I'm not saying that those things are like this game is good. I'm not about to say that. What I'm saying is that like you hear it so often that it numbs you to the stuff that's actually going on in the game. So I'm basically playing the game with as straight of a face as possible, like this. And then I'm like, oh, okay, like this game is just kind of, I mean, yeah, it's kind of bad. But like, well, it's kind of average. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I guess my hot take is that when you compare Shadow the Hedgehog with Sonic Forces, right? Sonic Forces is a game that is is mid, really, really mid and average, and doesn't make you feel anything. Shadow the Hedgehog makes you feel something in the sense of like, I can't believe all this stuff is happening. I think it was the same thing even in 2005 when it came out, when it was like, okay, like this is making me feel something. But like with Sonic Forces, there's no reason to revisit it. There's no reason to talk about it except for the fact that it was disappointing. I mean, Infinite came from it, but like only recently did. Oh wow, I'm giving my Sonic Forces rant again. But I'm gonna stop And I'm just gonna let you know, Shadow the Hedgehog is it's mid, but the good kind of mid. It's the mid that makes you think a little bit. In terms of gameplay, it's not bad. I think they handled the guns okay, um, which is crazy to say about a Sonic game. Yeah, it's whatever. It's so is it? Man, this game is so hard to describe. Oh my goodness. It is the weirdest Sonic game of all time, probably. So I think even if you find a game where weirder stuff is happening, like traditionally weird, I still believe this is weirder than that because I don't know why they decided to go this route with Shadow. Oh, and I guess one more thing I'll say about Shadow the Hedgehog is I find it funny how even in Sonic X Shadow Generations, they get as close as they can to the edginess that was presented in this game without crossing that line that Shadow 2005 did. I find it very interesting and honestly kind of commendable. Resident Evil 4. This is like the definitive Resident Evil game. 4 has been remade how many times? It's been ported how many times? People talk about 4 all the time. So I have to basically play Resident Evil 4 eventually. If I only play one Resident Evil game, it's probably going to be this. I've played a little bit of the PS1 game. I think I might have mentioned earlier, but like Resident Evil 4 is like the game I think of when I think of Resident Evil. So I also have the original remake for the first for the GameCube, and I think it's one of those things where I don't hear people talk about this that much. I hear people talk about it eventually or occasionally, but not really that much. So who knows? Maybe one day I might try it out if I like Resident Evil 4, of course. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Oh my goodness. XD Gale of Darkness is the most expensive Pokemon game, I think, of all time. And it is a game that is pretty cool. So, pretty cool concept, all that jazz. I think I enjoy Coliseum's concept a little bit more, but XD Gale of Darkness is pretty cool still. You know, catching shadow Pokemon and purifying their hearts or whatever. It's like, oh my gosh, the love Pokemon have for each other. It's so beautiful. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say. I played a little bit of this game, like when they had them on McDonald's kiosks. I think it was either XD Gale Darkness or Coliseum. I'm gonna keep it a beat with you. I'm gonna be honest. I confuse this game and Coliseum a lot, but that probably means I just need to actually sit down one day and really get to step in on this one. And so I've got Fantasy Star Online. Now, one of my friends told me, hey, like this game used to be like a huge in terms of exploiting GameCubes and like hacking GameCubes, and I was like, oh, okay, like good to know. But Fantasy Star Online is a game that I'm not really too familiar about. I think it just looks really cool, and I like media slash anime slash all that other stuff that like utilizes like early MMO aesthetics, like early 2000s MMO aesthetics. So anything like that, even if it doesn't really run, most of the time the game's gonna be like $10. So I'm like, oh, okay, like I might as well get it. So, but Fantasy Star Online is one of those games I actually have wanted to try for a while, especially if you don't need the internet for some of these games. I definitely do want to try them out. Oh, and I just looked at the box. It says great offline split screen action for up to 4 players. So that's cool. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Oh my goodness! So the way I experienced Paper Mario was through the remake that came out on the Switch, or the remaster that came out on the Switch, I should say. But Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is a pretty good RPG. I have a friend who doesn't think so. He's an idiot. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is a pretty good RPG. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's bad, and I think you can apply that to a lot of areas of your life. Tip number 25 from the Ganache YouTube channel. So. But yeah, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is pretty good. I don't really have that much to say about it. I think the fact that people get really defensive about this game or hold this game up to the standard of every other Paper Mario after it uh, lives up to kind of makes more sense when you play it because you're like, oh, okay, like this is pretty good. I would be a little mad if I was like really into Paper Mario and this game didn't really live up to that expectation. So One Piece Grand Battle. Not the Grand Tour, Grand Battle. I like One Piece a lot. Literally across from me right now, I have a wanted poster of Luffy, and then right up there on my shelf, I have a Straw Hat. So I love One Piece, and I was like, oh my gosh, these One Piece games for the GameCube were pretty expensive. Aside from this one was not as expensive comparably. I still thought it was kind of a little expensive at $45, but I like One Piece a lot, so I was like, let me get this. And it's like a One Piece side fighting game, especially because it's got Kuro on the cover. Oh my gosh, I know this is like right around like the East Blue era of One Piece, so like it's not really too surprising. But at the same time, though, it's one of those things where I'm like, wow, man, like this is like a relic compared to like what One Piece is now. What One Piece is now is like, so it's nice to kind of go back to simpler times, like back when Luffy was really the top dog in the East Blue. But this is not a anime video. This is just a gaming video. So I'm a sidestep and hit up the 4 disc preview disc, four game, four game preview disc. So we got Sonic Adventure DX, Beautiful Joe, Billy Hatcher, and Splinter Cell. Ignore this price tag. This was not $109. I swapped it out with a different case that had Eternal Darkness in it. And the thing with a Sonic Adventure, not Sonic Adventure DX, wow. The thing with these is that I like these because having to literally get preview discs for different games is a really interesting concept to me, because nowadays we just kind of download our demos. I've talked about this a little before, so it's nice to have like a little piece of gaming history in your collection that a lot of people wouldn't think to get. Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island. Oh my goodness! So Nicktoons Unite was my jam. All right, back in the day, I think it was featured in my PS2 video, but if it wasn't, I love Nicktoons Unite. The idea of crossovers has always been something that's interested me. So when they came out with basically the sequel, which was Battle for Volcano Island, I was stoked. I don't think Jimmy Neutron's in this one, which kind of sucks. No, Jimmy Neutron's not in this one. SpongeBob, Timmy Turner, Danny Phantom. So they really were like, let's cut like out one of the interesting parts of our trio. He's Loki kind of he has the worst show out of this trio, in my opinion. I mean, obviously not when it ended, but anyway, moving on. Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island is gas. It's really good, and I still think I like Nicktoons Unite more, just because it felt like a really novel concept at the time. But the fact that Nicktoons was like, why don't we just kind of cross over some of these IP and make video games out of it? I think that was pretty cool. I got some sports styles to run through. NHL 2005. I'm not a hockey person, but this was for free. NBA Live 2003 for the free. Naruto Clash of Ninja 2, not for the free, alongside. There you go. Naruto Clash of Ninja 1. I have mentioned this before, but I like the Naruto games that were pre-Bandai, so I think these were made by Tommy, primarily because I kind of like how they handled the gameplay. But I still believe that Naruto probably also was in better hands with Bandai. But the concept of like two different publishers / developers fighting for the rights to like an anime IP and like making their own games was very interesting. So I think Clash of Ninja is pretty cool. I also really like pre-Shippuden Naruto or OG Naruto. So I had a cop. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Oh geez. Is the game in here? It is Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. So I kind of like having the actual, hey, this is the game, like separated type thing. So that was a really good deal. But again, same thing with Metroid Prime. I want to play the Metroid Prime series. I can't play 2 if I don't play 1. I haven't heard really anything about Prime 2. I actually hear more about Prime 3 than I hear about Prime 2. So I think that's interesting. That's all I got to say. This has a similar case, but in here, I keep my copy of Mario Kart Double Dash. There we go. Mario Kart. Wait. Okay, cool. Mario Kart Double Dash is a Mario Kart game I don't have that much experience with, actually. It's probably the Mario Kart game I've played the least of. I've even played probably the original SNES Mario Kart more than I've played Mario Kart Double Dash. And I kind of want to remedy that a little bit, but I think people have kind of moved away from glazing Double Dash to glazing Mario Kart Wii, which is really interesting to see. But I think which I think is more so due to the fact that people are starting to feel a little more nostalgic for the Wii than they were for the GameCube. Like 5-10 years ago, you couldn't escape GameCube nostalgia, and now you can't escape Wii nostalgia. And I know the nostalgia is going to skip the Wii U. There's not that many people have the Wii U, but I still think that Mario Kart Double Dash is definitely worth a shot. If you want to get into some Mario Kart games, because it has a really cool mechanic of the dual drivers. That's cool. Mario Power Tennis. I actually played this a little bit when I got it. It was one of the first GameCube games to enter this collection. I was actually pretty excited to get it too. I ordered it online. I ordered it off eBay. I didn't browse through anything. I was like, I want Mario Power Tennis. Dang it. And I got it. And it's pretty all right. I think the early tennis games or yeah, really specifically the early tennis games for Mario really intrigued me, and so I would play them either at a friend's house or either like in these demo spots, and they would always be something where I'm like, I had fun. So that's kind of why I got it. And it's still pretty fun, I'd say. Mario Party 7. I don't really have a lot of experience with the Mario parties of this generation. This was also something I got for the free ski. So I am grateful to have Mario Party 7. And I do want to eventually try it out with some friends. Same thing goes for Mario Party 6, but I think I actually purchased this one. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. Oh my gosh. I've not played this yet, but these early Mario Golf games are games I'm like, wow, or these early Mario sports games are games I'm like, wow, I these look really cool to me for some reason. So I got them, and I've not played golf yet, but I do want to, both in real life and on the GameCube. Not really in real life, but more so on the GameCube, because Mario Golf Toadstool Tour is one of those that people actually do talk a little fondly about. So, and they're like, hey, this is not bad. This is not. Scooby Doo Unmasked. I got this game for the free ski. I have no idea pretty much how this game plays, what the gameplay looks like, etc. But it's a Scooby Doo game. And some of the Scooby Doo games from back in the day were not bad. I had one actually on the PS2 that was really solid that I liked a lot, but I'm blanking on the name. And I just remembered it right now. So after I'm done filming this video, I'm going to look it up and I'm probably going to buy it. iNinja. Okay, so who I got this game from said this game is actually really good. So I see it all the time at my game store. Someone finally bought it, and I was like, okay, cool. I might have to see what the fuss is about. So iNinja, man, if you have heard of this game or played this game, please let me know in the comments below. Harvest Moon. Now, all those farm simulator games that a lot of people sometimes like to dunk on, I like them. Yes, I like Stardew Valley a little bit. Um, is there any other ones? Room Factory. Room Factory is not bad either. Honestly, it's not farm tending, but I kind of put Animal Crossing in that same tier. So the fact that I haven't tried Harvest Moon yet was one of those things where I was like, I think I need to try Harvest Moon. So I got Harvest Moon when I went to a convention. So, but yeah, hopefully I like it. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. Now I already have Budokai 2 on the PS2. I actually have Budokai 1, 2, and 3 on the PS2, but this one was for free ski. And this one has like exclusive content in it, I believe, because it's the GameCube version. Secret stages, exclusive skill capsules, battle damage uniform, and advanced difficulty levels. If the PS2 version has all that, I'm gonna be mad because they advertised it specifically on this box. So if I was a kid back then trying to play a Dragon Ball Z game and I'm like, oh man, should I get this game for my GameCube or for my PS2? Yes, I'm wealthy. Then I would have just been like, oh, well, let me just get it on the GameCube because it has these specific things in it. And the whole time, Donkey Konga 2. Oh boy, I don't really think about any of the Donkey Kong games from this generation, this era. Everything Donkey Kong related between 3 and Returns doesn't exist to me. I'm not really a Donkey Konga person. I'm not really a Donkey Kong King of the Jungle or Jungle Swing or something. I'm not really any of that. Mario vs. Donkey Kong was pretty cool though. But everything else, I'm like, I don't really know. But I got the game for the free ski and I got the bongos, so I was like, I might as well try it out. Have I tried it out yet? Take a wild guess. Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. First off, hard. Just hard. Hard. Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix is one of those games that I looked at as a kid and I was like, oh my goodness, why is Mario studying on me? And now I know why, because bro was busting moves on Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. So I have the little pad thing now, and so I kind of want to try it out and just see if I could really get to stepping in Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. Blood Rain. So I already told you guys about how sometimes I will buy either these are different books or different games off of Vibes. Blood Rain was one of those where I was like, gotta get off Vibes. I think there's, man, I would say the lyric right now, but Blood Rain is mentioned in a song that I've listened to a lot, but I forget what it is. But this is one of those games where I was like, wow, M-rated GameCube game. And I know this game is also on the PS2 as well, but like, got a cop, man. It has a sequel too. This game, I don't think it reviewed super well, but like people said that it's not bad. So yeah, And finally, I got Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Oh my goodness. This was one game that I was like, I actually really want to try this because the first time I ever saw Billy Hatcher, first time I ever saw his little face, his little grin, was when I played Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing, and I was like, "Whoa, that guy looks kind of cool." Whole time, this game is developed by Sonic Team, and I was like, "Whoa, now I'm even more interested." So I played it a little bit, and I was like, this is okay." So I kind of want to give it a little more time to cook, a little more time to saute itself, get a little in there, right? Stir up the beef and see what's really going on there. But Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, add my protein in there. Um, it might not be too bad. It might not be too bad. But yeah, that about does it for the GameCube collection. This was a pretty beefy one as well, but similar in size to the Wii collection. I believe next week is the N64 collection, but don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. And so I'm really looking forward to that because every single N64 game I have are bangers. I don't have a single N64 game that I don't have a explicit reason for owning because the N64 to me has a lot more concise of a library. I think the trash in there is really not plentiful, and I certainly have not collected it at all. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, though, and I will catch you all next time.